Tell me one more thing, please. I heard about Ningbo's definition of a city of single champion enterprises. Can you explain what is it? I mean, I don't understand why Ningbo has been awarded this title of.
Okay.
What is it?
So compare with Italian, compare with Japan, compare with Germany. We're thinking in China, whole nation industry capability, whatever technology, whatever people skill, whatever education, we are in the middle size, not in the head. Compare Germany and Japan, even some segment in Italy, we are behind. How to promote this? How to promote this? The Chinese, the companies, they must have some sample to learning. You can learn others, learning best practice. Many of the company have the best practice. This kind of sample we are collect together. We think the German have the one of the good practice in the world. They call hidden champion. Would you know about the information?
Yeah.
It's Dr. Seaman, Dr. Seaman. They have studied. The company has very strong market share in the world. It's not only the region, the top 3, very strong R&D capability, and a very strong people capability. So they have a special company. And Japan also has such kind of company. China have a very larger small company or middle-sized company. We think in this company, if they learn about German hidden champion and Japanese company, the small size company, the best practice, they give some sample and target. You want to be continue to running of your company. You have a good sample to learn. In year 2016, the central government in Beijing, they launched a program we call Single Champion Program. Single Champion meaning for their product, market share, and top. That's top in China. Or they are supplied for the whole world. Let's say top 3 or top 5 in the world. And their product brand recognized by customers, became as a famous brand. The difference with hidden champion. Hidden champion not talking about the brand. Like in China with Haier, I don't know, Huawei. This is a good company.
Yes.
And the people know this. That's a mobile phone. China also have a very strong mobile phone brand. It's a good brand.
Well known all over the world. Yes, Xiaomi, Huawei. Yeah, sure.
Huawei, talking about is the R&D capability. That's R&D. Let's say 3 to 5% of the sales revenue, and they have some other segment. If a company can meet this kind of requirement, and the government will pass the government evaluation system, then they can be single champion in China.
I understand.
Since the year 2016 up to now, the government already have if I remember correctly, it's around 5 times to evaluate the company. This company all been nominated by the province. Ningbo Zhejiang province, nominated by all special larger cities. Ningbo is one of the special larger cities. Although cities nominated to the central government, they have the experts according to the requirement to do the evaluation. Up to now, the Ningbo have the 51 companies recognized as a hidden champion, no, single champion company in the China. We compare nations of the cities. We compare with Shanghai, compare with Beijing, compare with Shenzhen. Ningbo is number 1.
Wow.
If you compare with the whole nations, Ningbo is number 6. We have different provinces, like Jiangsu province, different provinces, Hebei province, Guangdong province. And province and cities, the Ningbo ranking is 6th. Compared with the whole cities, like Guangzhou and Shanghai, Ningbo is number 1. That's we see we are single champion cities. A one advantage of Ningbo single champion company. They are, let's see, more than most of them. They use the digital technology. We call intelligent technologies for design, for the manufacturing operations, for the material transportations. This company has such kind of, but a long way to go. Compare with the German, compare with Japan.
Well,
in some field in Italy, we have said a long way to go. But this is on the way.
No, but I think my understanding is
also just a single champion company, they must be focused on 1 or 2 products.
Yeah.
At least 7 to 10 years.
I understand. Yeah.
You can't. You need to wait. You need some history data to show this company. They're not only one day bright, and then they come down. It must be long years.
But it's very interesting. My understanding that Ningbo is quite advanced compared to many other Chinese cities was correct. No, I think your explanation was very, very informative indeed. And I'm sure European companies will treasure your information and will no doubt, or should no doubt, get in touch with your association to explore opportunities of availing themselves of the services of your association, and perhaps, try to expand cooperation with European companies, Italian, German, or I'm sure Japan is much closer to you, but Europe. But thank you very much. Very, very informative indeed.